Yes, people. What's going on? Seagull Talks Football. We are back again with another video. Oh my days, ladies and gentlemen. What am I going to do today? What am I going to talk about today? Well, we got to talk about Eze. We got to talk about Rodrygo. We got to talk about Lookman. But the main thing we got to discuss is an Arsenal injury blow. A massive piece of news dropped today. David Ornstein dropped the bomber to let everybody know that we have just picked up a massive injury. Now, with that being said, let's just hope that Gyökeres also doesn't pick up an injury. Nobody like Mikel Moreno doesn't pick up an injury, or anybody else in this team doesn't pick up an injury, because in that case, we're going to have even more problems. But right now, we are in a situation where we just need to make sure we are ready for that next game versus Leeds. And hopefully we can still go out into the transfer window and improve what we currently have to our disposal. Now, let me tell you guys what happened, and let me break it down for you guys in the nicest way possible. Rip the bandage. Let's talk about it. Arsenal forward Kai Havertz set for a spell out with a knee injury. And of course, the German international will assess his injury. It is unclear the duration of which he will be out for. Hopefully, it's not too long, as this man has already been injured the back end of last season and missed multiple games. I mean, multiple weeks, multiple months with that injury. I think he was out for about like a couple months and only came back for the final game of the season in which he played. And of course, Arsenal now need to maybe go and strengthen the attack, go back into the market and see what we have available. Now, in case you guys don't know, what do Arsenal have in their team? Let's go look. Well, this is Arsenal's team right now. And this is what we currently have in our attack. We have Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard, and Madueke. And then finally, Reece Nelson and Kai Havertz. Of course, you can play Mikel Moreno at striker. So that is an option at striker. And Leandro Trossard, just yesterday, Leandro Trossard signed a new deal. Yes, yesterday, Leandro Trossard has signed a new deal. This is very interesting. Wow. There's a couple reports actually right now. Before we go any further, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button, and let me just pull this up before we go any further. The first piece of news is that I couldn't believe it yesterday that Leandro Trossard signed a new deal. The reports came out yesterday, about 20 hours ago. It was Gunner Blog who reported it first. And it kind of now makes sense why we did this, because maybe they knew that Kai Havertz picked up a knock or an injury and they wanted to get themselves some cover in-house. So Leandro Trossard has agreed to a new contract, and contract will increase his salary but not extend the years beyond 2027. Now, I don't know why they don't want to extend the years beyond 2027. Maybe it's a gentleman's agreement that he stays and helps us out throughout this injury or what. But long story short, that is the situation with this. And he got a contract extension plus a salary increase. And this is probably why they did this, to protect us in the case that now Kai Havertz is out for an extended period. And Arsenal had 3 players in the team of the season for the PFA team of the season, and the boys were there. And also Arsenal had a couple players in the women's team of the season also. As you can see right there, we had about 4 Arsenal players in the women's team of the season also. Now, before we move any further, please do hit that like button, and let's talk about some of these things. Arsenal also have announced Coca-Cola as a sponsor, in-house non-alcoholic sponsor. So we'll see. And Arsenal, of course, today had the open training session at the Emirates Stadium. A lot more will come out from there. Ian Wright actually spoke about Gyökeres to Ars blog, and he was speaking about it, and he's basically just breaking down that he sent a message to Gyökeres and said, "You're mirroring me, so you have to do and continue to have faith in yourself, and you got to go through the hard times," and basically saying you doubt yourself because all of a sudden you're playing with Saka and Odegaard, and arguably 2 of the best center backs in the world, and Rice and Zubimendi, and your level has gone somewhere else. But I saw that when I I went into the Arsenal dressing room, and after I signed, I saw the level, and all I wanted to do was prove and work hard, and brought me through. Then it was up to me. So yeah, giving Zubimendi a little, giving Gyökeres a little bit of treatment, telling him how club legend Ian Wright felt joining the Arsenal dressing room. Now, some of the players who did not play in today's behind closed door game was Kai Havertz, Norgard, and Ben White. I think, of course, we know what Kai Havertz injured. Norgard, I think he picked up a knock, and Ben White, he hopefully he's going to be fine. The update on Kivior is pretty straightforward. That Kivior remains a strong option to go to Porto. Arsenal are favoring a permanent deal. Porto are obviously looking for an initial loan and would become permanent next summer. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Also, Arsenal are going to potentially move on Karl Hein. He's destined to go to Germany to play for Werder Bremen. And you can see here Max Dallman passing the ball to Gyökeres for a tap in training. And you can see the boys all in training, just getting themselves ready for the games. We already spoke about Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz being sidelined for a while. It is unclear how serious the injury is or how long he's going to be out for. Of course, we wish Kai Havertz the best, and we're going to talk about potential replacements or people who can come in for Kai Havertz, who should come in as Arsenal reinforcements now that Kai Havertz is out. This is going to be the question that's going to be asked to everybody in the comment section in a second. But let's just get through these topics. Zubimendi has also was struck with a severe illness bug last week, and led to him missing 2 full training sessions and threatening participation against Manchester United. Given the occasion, however, Zubimendi was determined and not to miss the fixture. So Zubimendi played his first game with a flu. Crazy to think. You have Fabrizio Romano also giving us an update on the Kai Havertz situation and saying Arsenal will go out into the market to go and get another option, most likely, now that Kai Havertz has suffered an injury, and Arsenal are aware of the situation and they need one more player up front. Very interesting from Fabrizio Romano. Now, this doesn't make sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen this and I just wanted to talk about it for a second. I think Arsenal are weighing up the option to see if they can bring in Morgan Rogers, which is valued at £80 million, and are unlikely to entertain any offer below that. Why would we now go and be willing to spend £80 million on Morgan Rogers when we weren't just a couple of weeks ago not willing to spend a lot less on Eze? I don't get it. I don't understand why we are doing this. I don't understand why we are now all of a sudden saying we're going to go for Rogers when we could have gone for Eze. But this just doesn't make sense to me. This is probably the sun just being the sun, linking us to Morgan Rogers. Now, don't get me wrong, Morgan Rogers is a quality player, comes into our team and it probably improves it. But where? Does he play on the left wing? Does he play as a left 8? Does he play in Declan Rice's position? Does he play in Odegaard's position? Is he a squad player? We're not spending 80 million on a player who we guarantee don't know what he's going to bring to the table and where he's going to necessarily be in the first team. And 80 million is a lot of money. If you spend 80 million on a player, you go spend that money on Eze, go spend that money on a Rodrygo. Even go drop that money on somebody who can play in the left wing week in, week out. I don't think Morgan Rogers is a consistent left winger to be coming into this team, and he's not. And he's more of another central midfielder at a 10. At best, maybe you can play him at a left wing, left midfield if you want. But even then, I think you're pushing it. I wouldn't necessarily say Arsenal is a bad move to go for Morgan Rogers, but I just don't think it would be a good use of funds when we need a player who's more of a left winger than a left midfielder or a 10. But hey, if they view him as another piece that could do that, we'll see. Right now, Aston Villa are asking for astronomical money, 80 million, which I just don't think is going to happen. Of course, Greg Jacobs also speaking about Kai Havertz, and he says that, of course, he felt something when he. So Kai Havertz basically got this injury sustained versus the Manchester United game in the second half when he came on after he got substituted into the game. Kai Havertz injury had been okay. So Arsenal had been looking at attackers, namely left wingers, if Trossard left. Trossard has signed an improved deal, and Arsenal, but it expires and remains in 2027. He has interest in from Premier League teams and abroad. So what does that mean? What does that even mean? Even before Kai Havertz's injury, Arsenal had been looking for attackers and namely left wingers if Trossard left. So Trossard's not leaving now. So Trossard has signed a new deal and will stay until 2027. So he has he has interest from Premier League clubs and abroad. He signed a new deal. Why would he now leave all of a sudden? Why would he sign a new deal then just leave? It doesn't make sense. So I don't even know what that's really trying to say. David Ornstein coming out here saying there has always been a nagging feeling at the club that about the left-hand side. It's not to disrespect Martinelli or Trossard, but I think the powers at the club feel that there's opportunity right now, and an upgrade could be sought from the market. And then this is what he ends up saying. That is what I think, and it could end up having a look at guys like Rodrygo or Anthony Gordon. We keep hearing Rodrygo or Anthony Gordon. If you want Rodrygo, he's available. Just drop the money. He is available for drop the money, or at least ask for a loan and pay all his wages, because he's not getting game time at Real Madrid. Rodrygo's not getting game time at Real Madrid right now. Rodrygo is on the bench every single game for Real Madrid right now. And Anthony Gordon, I don't think you're getting him either. He is a mainstay in Newcastle's team. And with Newcastle having potentially a situation with Alexander Isak, they're not going to sell Anthony Gordon either. And then when you go to say then others like Eze, but that was never a left side. It was always 8 or a 10 position for Eze. So once again, they're telling you that they never viewed Eze as a left winger. So once again, that's just to show you that Eze was viewed as a potential 8-10 / backup for Ethan. And I just don't believe that either. It's like Ethan is what, 18? Eze is 27. You're telling me a player who's almost 10 years his senior is going to block his pathway? I just don't think that's the case. Eze, Ethan, Odegaard can all play in the same team. It's not the end of the world. Then you have David Ornstein saying, when it comes to NBC at the weekend, I said the headroom is significant in the Premier League PSR, but the UEFA FFP rules are calculated differently. Okay. And Arsenal are quite tight on that. Interesting. There is reaction. Oh, we knew it. There is no money to spend. Arsenal are hiding behind the rules. No, it is just a fact that it doesn't mean Arsenal aren't able to do something. It's more about balancing the squad. So Arsenal at this moment in time are not strapped for cash. It's just really about balancing the squad and trying to stay within UEFA FFP rules. Now, even if we did break UEFA FFP rules, we could probably just pay a fine. But balancing the squad seems to be a main thing that they care about also, because they don't want too many players that are not going to be in the matchday squad that are still in the team, because then you're going to have unhappy players in and around the squad that are not going to get game time. Rodrigo, as a David Ornstein speaking about Rodrigo, at this point, I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to have Google or whatever, the AI, read it for you guys.
I do think Arsenal looked at Rodrigo and had conversations about internally, but that was quite a long time ago and I don't think they went any further, certainly not to my knowledge. It's not one I know Arsenal to be working on. I think there may have been some intermediaries who were aiming to bring Arsenal into the equation. I don't think Arsenal made a huge play for Rodrigo, and I don't expect him to come into the club.
Yeah, basically telling us exactly what we already knew. Arsenal are not really making a major play for Rodrigo. If we were, we would have probably already been doing that. But yeah, I don't think Arsenal made a huge play for Rodrigo, and I don't expect him to come to the club. He did say he didn't expect Pepe to join Arsenal, but we're gonna have to wait and see. At this point, I don't think we're gonna get Rodrigo, but it would be nice. He doesn't play much. And then he spoke about Leao. This is interesting. When speaking about Rafael Leao, I don't know if Arsenal are being on that case whatsoever. It is not one that came across my radar. Yeah, fair play. The Leao stuff I heard was that Leao is not even on the move, so we'll have to wait and see. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, I am not happy. I'm slightly disappointed in the end to the transfer window with injuries and uncertainty over who we will bring in, uncertainty on over who we will actually sell. It looks like Kivior could be sold. Zinchenko might be staying. It looks like we're still trying to get rid of Nelson. No information on that. There's just so much little things that we could improve on when it comes to player sales, when it comes to direct understanding of how we want to build the squad. But it's just really, really frustrating at times, I find. And it could be worse. It could be worse. But hey, could Arsenal go and hijack the deal? Maybe. Could Arsenal go do something else? Maybe. But there is 3 players that Arsenal could potentially bring in the case that we do sign somebody. The first one is Eberechi Eze. Although it seems Arsenal are completely out of the race for Eberechi Eze, we could still go and sign him and prize him away from Tottenham if possible. We just need to go back into the deal, but it would likely mean either Trossard or Mikel Moreno would be deputized as strikers, and Eze would be playing as a left winger. I don't mind that. I really don't. Similar situation with Lookman. If we were to go for Lookman, it would be a situation where he would be a versatile player who can join in and play on the left, and he could play all over the place. But in my opinion, he would be the cheapest deal, 38 million for Lookman. I think that's a reasonable deal, and he would come in and he would be playing on the left. In my opinion, he would be much better than everybody we have on the left. And once again, Mikel Moreno and Trossard would be the backup strikers. And then you go to Rodrygo. Rodrygo is the most ambitious of them all. Rodrygo would cost us the most money. Rodrygo would be the most expensive transfer we could pull off this window. Rodrygo would probably cost us around 90 million euros, 77 million pounds. Maybe we pay that in a year from now, get a loan with an obligation to buy. But I just don't see Rodrygo happening. Real Madrid don't seem like they're looking to sell him at this moment in time. He doesn't look like he's pushing to be sold. Man City seemingly being interested, but at the same time not being too interested because they're saying to themselves, if we keep Savinho, if we sell Savinho. Long story short, Havertz suffers an injury blow. We have multiple options, and it just doesn't seem like those options are going to happen. Then there is the other side of the options, the bad options, the ones that we shouldn't even consider. The Jacksons of the world, the Garnachos, who else is there? The Jacksons, Garnachos, Nkunkus, the Jadon Sanchos. Those guys are just in another bracket. I'm not interested in going for them. And then people also even saying we could potentially go for Julian Alvarez at Atletico Madrid. I don't think Julian Alvarez is going anywhere, and you guys just need to understand that. But hey, that's pretty much all I got to say for today. Is there anything else that you guys need to say? Let me know in the comment section. Please do. Jackson on loan. I don't think that's going to happen. His joints and ligament, if he has ligament damage, we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. What do you guys say in the comment section? Hopefully you guys are all good. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. I don't see anything crazy in the comments. There's still Barcola. I don't think Barcola is leaving PSG, to be fair. But yeah, Jackson would be perfect fit. I doubt it. I wouldn't want Jackson. He's not a finisher. He's not a left winger, and he's a backup striker that's not better than anything we currently have. So just doesn't make sense. But yeah, hopefully that's it. People saying season done. No, the season hasn't even started yet. Don't even stress yourself. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully we catch you guys in the next one. You already know what it is. Love for the love. Is there any other news? Barring sales. Oh, just some news came in 1 second. Barring player sales, Arsenal initially looked at a loan and a bargain to cover Kai Havertz's injury if they receive bad news. Jamie Vardy. Do you think Jamie Vardy? What the hell? What the hell? Barring the sale of a player, Arsenal expected to look at loans and bargain costs to cover Kai Havertz's injury. Jamie Vardy, anyone? Here's some potential options. This is hilarious. Jamie Vardy is an option. Jamie Vardy is an option. That is hilarious, to be fair. I did not expect that as an option. What a funny option that would be. Jamie Vardy. Can you guys believe it? We're in 2025 and they're talking about Arsenal potentially being interested in Jamie Vardy as a backup to Kai Havertz. Fairs. That's it for now, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is out of control. Today's stream has gone out of control. We're now talking about Jamie Vardy and Jackson. What are we doing here? What are we doing? People saying Jamie Vardy's better. Fair play. If you think that, I disagree. But we're gonna wrap it up here, boys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Love for the love. I'm gonna be on Never a Foul later tonight at like 10 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. And I'll leave you guys, love you guys, and leave you guys. You already know what it is. Peace, love for the love, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.